Hello everyone and welcome back to our farm in Kandelin here in Farming Simulator 22. So we're continuing right where I left off last episode. We got this soybean contract here, harvesting soybeans in the field way down south. And I thought this would be a great way to help us get some money here at the start. It's a pretty handy sized contract if you'll recall from last episode, and it pays pretty decently, you know, for just starting contract here. I've got a bit of the field done. But something I kind of just remembered, I'm going to get this little bit here, something I kind of just remembered, if you recall from last episode, I still also, we got to go and fertilize our field because it just kind of dawned on me. I know I've said it before, but I keep forgetting this. I think with the current settings I had, I think this is the last day of October. So this is the last day. Here it is. It's after lunchtime, and it's the last day that we can get fertilizer down on our wheat field way in the distance over there. And I did change the length of the months, but that has not taken effect yet. It shouldn't until next season. So this is our last opportunity to get fertilizer down this month on our wheat field. So today is a very busy day here in Kandelin on our map, because we got to finish this contract and get fertilizer down on our field. So I was going to get some soybeans here, and then we need to get set and get over to our wheat field and start fertilizing. Now, while I'm getting some soybeans in here to start off with, one thing I wanted to mention here real quick, just outside of what we're doing here, this is regarding the channel. I figure probably some of the people watching this video may be watching my videos but not subscribed to the channel, and really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers right now on the channel. The way it is on YouTube is that I want to get more features unlocked on the channel, and I need 1,000 subscribers to do that. Now, I think some people may not be subscribed, and if you watch the content a lot, there's no reason not to just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and it really helped the channel out immensely, more than you know. If we can just get to that 1,000 mark, and I'd really appreciate that a lot. I may mention it from time to time. If we can get to that, that would just be a huge, immense help for the channel. So anyway, yeah. So definitely subscribe for sure. Let's just get to that 1,000 mark, and then we'll focus on more from there. All right, guys. So back to the farming. Yeah, I keep thinking to myself, should I go do the fertilizing now? And that's the thing, is I could have started off fertilizing, but I'm like, nah, I really want to fill one more hopper of soybeans, and really we're putting a fairly decent dent in this field here. This field is 15 hectares, so it's about, 50% larger than our wheat field. Let's get some of this mist over here. I decided to start cutting straight lines through the field, so we got a bit we can pick up over here. So I was thinking, yeah, if we could just get, let's get one more hopper to take down to the trailers. I don't know how long it's going to take to fertilize that field, but we got to get it done this month because right now it's in the first growth stage. Anywhere past the first growth stage, we're going to damage the crops, and I don't want that, of course. Now, being wheat's got really good coverage over the field. It makes it really hard to see where we have and haven't fertilized, because it's hard to see the dirt through the crops. So it should be interesting. And what I mean by that is I'm not sure how long it's going to take to fertilize, because it could be one of those runs where it's really tricky to tell where we have and haven't been. And that said, it's definitely something we're going to want to do with as much daylight as possible. Yeah, so I might want to head out there soon. I'm going to get this, let's get this bit of soybean here up and take over to our tippers, and then we'll head over to our wheat field. And I think we have everything we need to fertilize at the farm. I'm pretty sure when I set us up with our equipment at the beginning, I'm pretty sure I put narrow tires on our John Deere, our smaller one. I have it set up with a mower, and I think it has narrow tires on it. We have a fertilizer sprayer there, which I haven't used, and I think we have a fertilizer storage at our farm too. The reason I say I think, and I'm not sure, is because I'm pretty new to our farm here. We've only been here for just, like a month in game, right? And the fertilizer tank and the sprayer is parked behind the building where the bulk of our tools are parked, and it's behind that building. and it's easy not to see them. In fact, if you'll recall last episode, I was driving by and I made mention of how I had just noticed there was a sprayer parked back there. So I think we got everything we need to spray, but of course we're going to have to buy fertilizer. I'll have to see how that, what that's going to cost, but luckily we've got some money for that. And I think we're going to need some money for other things because I have some ideas for some pretty big jobs that I'm going to take on here in the next coming month. We'll see about that. But if you look around this map, this area here around Kandelin in Germany, look at the size of the fields here. Everything here is a big project. So a lot of things at the very start here are just going to be, pretty big endeavors. Yeah. Let's get the rest of these soybeans up here in this area that I missed. I wanted to start cutting straight lines through this field because this field is mostly pretty much straight east and west. But this will be a fun project up here, fertilizing our field because, pretty much because of the reasons I said. It's going to be hard to see where we've fertilized. I imagine it's going to be. I don't know. I imagine it's going to be hard to see and kind of hard to get good coverage, but we'll find out. And I'll just have to see if we've got the right stuff to do it. So, it's always fun doing stuff the first time. But setting up our farm here, I tried to make sure that we'd have everything we needed to start off with an appropriate amount of room to grow on things. As long as we're on the way back to the tipper, let's actually stop here and work around this little island of trees that we've got here because we've got more room in the hopper. And so I figure, as long as we got some room, and for the soybean, and this is going to make it easier going forward after this. Let's go ahead and get some of this done. Now, some of those trees on the edge and the south side were pretty close to the crops, but here we got room. We got room here, so I'll cut a couple rows out here, so that when we come back to the field, it's going to make it easier going up and down. All right, and I figure may as well, work our way back. It can't hurt. Let's work our way back to the tippers. I was just going to head straight back to the tippers, or like I may have said earlier, I think I even thought about starting the fertilizer right away, but we've got time. It's not quite 2 in the afternoon yet. But I definitely want to get out there before the shadows get too long. Because I foresee it maybe being a little tricky to tell where the sprayer's hitting. Alright, and that is good for now. Let's take this down here to where we've got our tippers parked, our brand new tippers that we bought last episode. If you'll recall from last episode, to start off with, our tippers only had an 8,000 liter capacity each. And while that may have been okay for starting off with our field, this contract being so far from our farm down here, and then especially when I saw where we have to deliver these soybeans, it's just we wanted something with a little more capacity to make fewer trips. Let's go ahead and, if my harvester will stop here. There we go. I think it stopped rolling now. We are down here, or right here at field 42, and where we are delivering the soybeans is actually a couple miles away over here. 2 towns over. That's going to be a heck of a drive. So luckily we've got the larger tippers so we can make fewer trips. All right, so I'm going to get this shut down. And you know what? We could potentially make a run there now, except I don't know how to get there. It's seriously a couple miles over there that way. And so let's go ahead and get back to our farm and get that fertilizing done, and then we'll figure out how to run our first delivery of soybeans to that elevator over in that town. All right, so here at our farm, this is the tractor that I am pretty sure I set up for this. Let's go ahead and I've got it set up with mowers. Let's go ahead and drop these off here. Haven't driven this tractor yet. This we got when I was setting up the farm. And I set this up for our Well, I intend to do some grass, possibly have cattle. Wanted to do grass. I got this set up for mowing, and I think I put narrow tires on it to prepare for fertilizing. So let's actually go have a look at that and make sure. We've got a workshop here at our farm. We can check that out. I just want to make sure before I drive it out onto the field, because these tires don't look terribly narrow, but I think that they are. I think we're close enough to our workshop here that we can check it out. Yeah, so let's see here. Customize. Yep, those are narrow tires. They don't look terribly narrow, but they be. All right, so now we're going to have to get some fertilizer, and I think we can actually handle that here. Now our sprayer, yeah, it's parked out behind this building. Actually, we could, yeah, go right through here. It's easy to miss when you don't know this area is back here. So let's get our tractor out here. And let me just close this door real quick. Totally just spaced that this was here for the first episode or two of this series. So we'll see what we're working with here. And it is empty. So we want to fill it liquid fertilizer, and hopefully this doesn't cost us too much. Not too bad, I don't think. Holds what, 4,500 liters? No, it's like store price. It's normal price. All right, great. Let's get this out to the field, out to our wheat field, which is looking really nice, by the way. Planted it last month. Obviously, you know, this is the first growth stage this month. And hopefully this goes nice and smooth. And we got, yeah, I'm hoping we get plenty of time to finish our soybean harvest. It's going to, you know, it's a contract, so it's going to have to be done today, well, this month, which I believe today is the last day, but that is, I do have it set to be 3-day months pretty much immediately once I saw how much work and how big these fields were. And to be honest, I should have set them for 3-day months at the beginning. Well, I rectified that last month, but I think we're going to have to wait until next season. We'll see. But for now, let's get down here, get to our wheat field. Oh, so I don't know if you guys recall, from previous videos, I have fixed our mirror issue. I had an issue with mirrors blinking on and off. And if you guys have seen that, it's because it's a setting, just here speaking out of character in strictly in game things. There's a setting on the main menu for graphics settings. You got to exit the map to get to it, which is why I always forgot to do it. And it allows you to enable how many mirrors visible at once. And by default, it's only like 2. So every time you turn, you got a mirror blinking on and off. I set mine to 8, I think. So now this is really nice to drive and have all of them working. Anyway, just as a side note. All right, so here's our wheat field. And let's see. Yeah, see, it's growing up quite a bit. And the ground coverage of wheat is pretty solid. It's going to be hard to see the ground. I mean, I imagine it should be. I predict that it will be. And let's zoom out here up at... Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard. So what we're going to do is... let's see. I set myself up in a difficult starting position here. Let me back this up here and kind of get us a decent... Whoa! Well, so that just happened. All right, now we got to think about that. We just checked, and these are narrow tires. Like totally, like you guys saw that, right? These we just were at the shop. It said narrow tires. All right, so. I didn't expect this. Let's think, what can we do about this? So clearly this tractor simply won't be able to do it. I don't know why, because this tractor is not a mod. just an in-game tractor with narrow tires, it should be able to drive over the crops. Let's go back to the farm. We have one more tractor back there that might be able to pull this off. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. There's always something, there's always a way to take care of that. For right now, we have crushed some of our crop, and I'm going to bring in the next best thing I can figure, which is we've got a tractor at the farm, which I might be able to put narrow tires on, and we're going to take that out there, and if that doesn't work, then we will deal with it as we can. But right now that field is only at 50% fertilization, and well, that's simply not good enough now, is it? I want to get the rest of the fertilizer on that field. Boy, it's beautiful here. It's kind of hard to see where you're going sometimes because of all the trees, but they sure are gorgeous, and it's definitely going to be the case this fall. All right, so I haven't brought this tractor out yet this series. You're about to see it for the first time. I've got it set up as a loader. I have used it a few times behind the scenes to do some cleanup around the tractor yard, and we're going to be using it now, and that's our Case IH. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Our Case tractor is in here, and it is a beauty. Yeah, I've got it set. With our loader here. Now this, I'm not even sure, but I suspect this might take narrow tires. So here's hoping. I love these good old classic Case tractors. I really do. All right. Let's see. Let's make sure that we can get this set up correctly. I could really do the job of both of these tractors with just one of them, but I like having a tractor set up as my loader. That way I'm not having to take the front loader console on and off, and having a counterweight on the back is really good for loading, and I don't like dropping it off and picking it back up, so it's good to have a dedicated tractor for that. Wheel set up. Right now it's on standard. Alright, so I'm going to have to mess around with this because right as it is, I don't have the option. Oh, there we go. That's a good trick to remember right there, is sometimes swapping wheel brands might get you what you're looking for. All right, so we're going to try this setup here. It's going to cost us $6,000, but that's okay. Now we got another tractor. It's always good. You always want a tractor with narrow tires at the farm. Okay. Oh, it probably dropped off our attachments. That it did. So let's give our tractor a try now. All right, so we're going to take this guy out onto the field, and let's hope that this works, and if not, well, we'll find a way around it. We'll figure something out. I didn't expect that, I mean, who would expect that to happen? Exactly, Let's get this guy out there. This is a great tractor. It's kind of the thing of, I was getting our starting vehicles, we got our starting money for our farm, and figuring, what do we need for our farm? What do we absolutely need? Do we need 4 tractors to start off with? Nah, not necessarily. But you need this tractor. Okay, not particularly, but you know what I mean? It's like, I love these classic tractors, and yeah, you kind of need a cool tractor like this. I was starting to lose hope there when I was flicking through tires and there was no narrow option. I'm glad the Fertilizing tires have it, but let's see what that's going to do here. Okay, cross your fingers, guys. Fingers crossed. Nope. That is negative. So that's telling me that is going to be on the map and not on us, because that's 2 tractors tried. And here, I want to try the back tires. That is one thing of 2-wheel drive tractors, is I never know for sure, because it never specifies with the front. Do they count as narrow or not? Just because I want to see what is up. This is, I know we can't take the tractor on this, but is it the map that's doing this? Is it, because we know these tires are narrow. All right. It's the front tires. So, I'm glad I did that. So, it will take narrow tires, but it, how about this? It doesn't like our two-wheel drive front tires, and it doesn't like our John Deere's narrow tires. Wow. Oh, this is incredibly picky. What are we to do here? Boy, we've got to get this done. I mean, this is our one shot here. I thought I had it set up with a reliable tractor with narrow tires, and I don't. We are going to trade in this John Deere for a tractor I've already selected, which should fit our lineup nicely, work with what we've got, and I mean, we'll see. I guess the upshot is that trading in this John Deere, we're able to make of a, you know, we're coming out ahead as this tractor that we're going to pick up is cheaper. So when we get some more money, once we make some more money, which look at all the big work, you know, that's available on this in this area here around Kandelin, we'll have more money and we'll be able to upgrade our tractors. For now, I got us a great solution sitting over here at the shop. That's where we're going, by the way. I had to really think on my feet as it is now pushing 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I really do want to get this done before the shadows wear too long. But it's a decent sized field, as you can see. I want to get the fertilizer down. So this poor John Deere, we haven't even driven it yet, and well, this is just what happens sometimes, and I'm just glad. Now, that is, of course, assuming that the tractor I got as a replacement will work. Now, it should. And when you see this tractor, you'll know exactly why I think it should work. You'll understand why I purchased it and why I think it should work. That case that we have could work if it didn't have two-wheel drive on the front. And so I have remedied that as thus. As you can see here, beautiful little tractor. I think it's going to be a nice addition to our lineup, and it'll match its little brother, the two-wheel drive. So that did set us back about 60 grand, so thereabouts. Let's see what exactly we can come out with here. So we're selling this. Yeah, so we came out ahead on that. Boy, I hate selling a tractor. I hate selling a perfectly good tractor, but all right, so we're going to roll with this guy here. I got this all set up for us. And I just think it's the best solution. You know, John Deere dealership. This is a really nice dealership here. Luckily, they had this old used International. Now, so careful on this road. Whoa. Did you see that red car go by? Yeah, that's why we're always so careful on this road. I wouldn't expect this to be an issue at all. It's probably just something petty, and I'm sure I just happened to have like the one tractor with the wrong tires. I'm sure is all it was. And indeed, we are good. Let's get set with this here. That only set us back like an hour. Oh yeah, and hopefully its tires are satisfactory. Oh, really? Really? All of that work. All right, I did not want to have to do this, but we are pressed for time, and there's just kind of no other way out of it. This is something I will work around later, but for the moment, we're simply going to have to go here. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, because this is obviously not our problem. You know, this is something that like I prepared for this and set up for this, and it's something I'll have to work out later. But I justify that as this is not our fault, not by any stretch of the imagination. I'll get around this issue later, and it won't be an issue anymore going forward. I will sort this all out. You have a word on that. So let's get to spraying. Normally, I like to get spraying done before the first stage of growth, but we were really pressed on time to get this field planted as it was. Now let's get this lined up a little better. All right, finally we can get to work on this, and we just got to watch this boom here. It's going to be tricky on the outside. I don't want to get this hung up because I don't think this tractor is going to have much power to pull this if it gets stuck some funky way. So let's make sure that we get this good here. And can we see where we've been? I don't know. I'm watching really closely where the boom is hanging right now. I will review when we get around the outside of the field if we can see whatsoever where we've been. One thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. That's kind of been today's motto, hasn't it? Boy, I didn't see any of this coming. So it's going to be a long day between this and that field of soybean that we still have to harvest. So yeah, that's going to be real careful on this turn up here. I will cut it however I have to. Come on, come around, little guy. Let's get that away from those trees. Whew. Boy, I can't wait to get off the edge of this field. Who planted these trees here anyway? I was not consulted on this. All right, so far so good. So far so good. On the corners, we really need to start getting away from the edge of the field. I'm not as concerned about keeping it exact around the outside edge as I am just getting the outside edge done. Working the inside of the field will be a totally different ball game because it'll just be, you know, we can do rows. What we don't get here, if there's like any noticeable amount that we don't get, like this corner up here, for instance, we can come back with a regular spreader or simply not worry about it. I'm kind of one for the latter at this point. I've had quite a bit of hassling with this, and yet still I'm going to try to swing this as good as I can here. I want a little tractor. Wow. You know, that was about 10 times better than I thought it would be. Just keep it away from those trees. Now, if there was one thing that was probably giving me some trouble at the start. If you were wondering why I was having so much trouble with it, with the tires, it's not something anyone else would have to worry about necessarily. I have a mod which makes it so that all tires crush crops except for narrow tires on the first stage of growth, because I think that's more realistic. And so I have a mod that makes it that way. It's the mod that makes, I forget what it's called, but it makes it so that only narrow tires won't crush crops only on the first month of growth. And I'm sure it's something to do with that mod and simply, I don't know, simply not liking some tires. So don't think that it was the map or something like that. I'm positive that's what it was. I just didn't want to mention it because of game immersion and such like that. That said, let's just keep going with that, and I'll get that sorted. All right, so that is all the tree edge is done. Once we get this outside edge done here, we can have a look at what we've got done and figure out, you know, filling in the rest here. And we'll have us a good healthy wheat crop, and that's what I wanted. And we got, hey, you know, we got an interesting tractor out of the ordeal. So we got 2 of these little case tractors now. I like these guys, they're cool. And, you know, we ended up with that Case IH air cart too, the hoe drill and the air cart. And, you know, that's been a very, very good seeder. All right, so let's get some kind of idea of where we have and haven't been on this field. Yeah, this is the thing with crops such as wheat. It can just be, oh, I can see it just ever so slightly right there. So, do I have room to turn around here? Turn here a little bit. I could just barely see it right here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go at a known angle, which I know works on this field, which is right here. And what we're going to do is, I got my GPS set here. We're going to run this angle going south and then the opposing angle coming north. And that should get us pretty good coverage. And that way we're just not going to have to worry about seeing where we've been, because it's practically impossible unless we go all the way out here and we can kind of see a little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely overlapping it. Yeah, well, I'm getting down a line so that, yeah, you know what I mean? We'll get this down. Now when we come back up the field, we'll be coming at 180 degrees to this. We work from here all the way up the field. When I was planning the field, this is the direction I was working. And so we'll do this coming back up. So we're just going to kind of have to eyeball it. That's what it's all about, right? Yeah, I really can't see. I mean, it's just amazing how much we can't see. So I'm eager to see, once we get this done, how close we actually were. I'll be interested to see. So we're going to go back up north at this angle. We can have a look here. We can have a peek. You guys want to have a peek? Because I'm kind of curious. Let's get a little bit here. And let's check it out here. And, whoops, I didn't set my cruise control. There we go. That's my bad on that. All right, we are working up here. And let's see what we've got on this field. Oops, take that filter off. Yeah, well, I'll clean it up once we get more done, and we'll see. So I just checked, and it looks like this is going to work, but I'm going to need some cleanup work afterwards to hit the missed spots. I think I missed some between this row and the previous row, so I just got to make tighter turns is basically it. But I'm aiming for, if we could get decent coverage, I'll be happy, you know. So we're going to come back. We're just going to turn this until, come on tractor, come on, about here. If we kind of whip it around, mostly fairly tight 180. Well, I went a little too tight there, but you know, it's all guesswork. So when we get to the end of the field, I'll do a kind of more loose 180 and we'll see how that looks. I try to get my fertilizing done when the ground is still bare, and generally going forward, that's what we're going to have. Yeah. All right, so we're getting to the end of the row. So what I'm going to do is very carefully, all right, we're going to turn this into a kind of a not completely tight 180, but a little bit. Come on, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. There. And we're going to see how this looks. Let's see here. Let me get my cruise control set and see how we're looking here. Let's let this update. That's a lot better. That is a lot better. Let's refresh that. Let's see here. Yeah, that was actually kind of dead on. Kind of proud of that. All right, so that's what we're going to aim for, is kind of a, I'll just try to match that turn. Took a second. Now, as we can see here, we have rain incoming. I wonder when that is. As we can see, yeah, we're making good progress, and I was hoping that'd be the case. Once we get going here, making good progress, and that's good. Our wheat here is going to be very happy, and our field, I'm sure, will thank us for all the effort. Let's hope for all the effort we put into these tires and everything it took to get this going. All right, so we're going to want to turn around again. I don't know, somewhere about here-ish. Not too tight. Just kind of keeping it like this. Here-ish. Good enough. Well, not good enough. That's the exact... the turn was okay-ish. The turn was a little squiggly, but trying to find the compass heading. To be fair, okay, this tractor clearly does not have GPS guidance. Yeah, so to clear things up, this tractor clearly does not have GPS. I'm not using GPS. I said something about that earlier. I'm not using GPS. I'm using compass headings. I should have said something about that. So this is how we'd be doing it, and that's how we're doing it. This is the compass heading that we were heading at. yeah, I just wanted to take you in here and be like, no, this tractor doesn't magically have GPS. I'm using old-fashioned compass headings and eyeballing the turns. And hopefully, yeah, I turned a little tight that time, but that's okay. We're getting coverage. And we're going to have enough. It looks like we're definitely, probably, yeah, I think we're going to have enough fertilizer, depending on how much we have to go back and clean up spots that we missed. So we can stand the turn a little bit looser still. If I can just match that one turn that I did, that'd be excellent. All right. So we want to turn to a compass bearing of 340. I think that was a little tight because I was kind of cranking on the wheel there, but we'll see here. When you're in a really big field, you got to have something to tell you where you're at and what you're doing. But you can do it with just a compass if you have to, you know. And if you know, it helps. It does help if I knew the width. If I was going like perfectly north and south, which I'm not, but if I were, I could be looking at my coordinates in conjunction with the width of the sprayer, and I did think about that, but I was like, no, it's too much work. I'll just eyeball it. I like these tractors. This tractor is cool. I like the two-wheel drive ones, but this will be good for us. Although the thing is, the reason I had that John Deere had a front PTO on it, which is kind of essential for our mower. So we're going to have to approach mowing from a different way now because, yeah, this tractor won't do what that John Deere could do. Let's see how this is. I got a little better. Yeah, that was a little better on the turn there. The thing about that John Deere is it had enough power to turn the mowers. It had enough power to turn the mowers, and it had a front PTO, so I could run front and rear mowers. Now that that's gone and we're using this tractor, I'm going to have to rethink mowing. But that said, we don't have anything to mow just yet. There is that. There's nothing to mow just yet because Murphy's Law, again, our field that was supposed to be grass is currently not grass because grass planting season ended last month. And so that field, if you saw last episode or the one before, you know that the grass field is actually oilseed radish right now. So we won't be mowing grass until next year anyway. So file mowing under fix it later column, right? It's showing rain on the weather forecast. That's not till 8 o'clock. So we should be done with everything by then. Well, we better be. Yeah, there is that. We've got to be. Because I got to get back on the soybean field to finish our soybean harvesting contract, and that's not going to work in the mud. Well, it's been quite the eventful October, that's for sure. How much room do we have to clean up here on the east end now that we've made a little more progress? Can I do it in one? No, I'm going to have to kind of eyeball it. Stuff like that you just can't plan for. I mean, you could, but that'd take a lot of work. All right, that's a pretty decent run. So you can kind of see what we're going to have to come back and clean up. We should be able to hit this mostly good. We'll come back and get that right off there. We got to remember we'll just come back and get that there. And then I think I kind of know where we got to hit over on the west end of the field. We'll just kind of hit where it looks like it's wide, you know. The mirrors leave a little bit to be desired. Well, these are the old mirrors. I could have put new case mirrors on it. Let's see here. I just bought it, though, so we can always work out some things. Okay, I'm going to take it off the compass bearings, and we're going to steer this to where it looks like I might have missed it. And when I say that, what I mean is we're going to head toward the areas where it looks a little wider. Let's see if this can help us. Not really. I really can't see here. Just kind of headed more. Yeah, actually, I can see it. Boy, you got to look close. I mean, this will hurt your eyes. So we're going to take a turn out here for good measure. Try to keep good coverage here. All right, I'm thinking that's pretty good. Let's head over to the west end of the field, and let's see if we can, I think I know about where we need to hit. Let's see how good my guesstimation skills are. As a farmer, this is a very keen sense to develop, the guesstimation sense. Let's see here. Got plenty of spray left. That's good. All right, so we're going to turn in. Boy, where was it? We're going to say about here. We're going to say about here. All right, we'll see how this looks. But when we get to the end of this, I'm calling it good. And we're going to see how good this farmer's guesstimation skills are. And, you know, I was looking at the map, you know, as we went along. But I do pride myself on a job well done. But I just want to get done what we should have got done. And I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but let's get this folded up. We'll get off the field and get a good overview and see how we did. Well, this tractor, we put it through its paces and it pulled this big sprayer, which is, well, bigger than it is, really. You know, in the future, when we have, you know, it's pressed for time, I'll get us set up with something more specific, and trust me, things will come into place. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. That's not bad. That is not bad right there. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that coverage. That's not 100% of the field, but that is a good day's work. Now we got to get back down to that soybean contract field, and we've got to finish harvesting down there. And then we're going to be moving into November, because I do believe, you know, I don't think that what I did has taken effect yet. So I think right now we're still in the 2-day months is what I'm saying. So this should be the last day of October. So guys, I'm going to get this back to our tractor yard and get back on that soybean harvest. And next episode, we're going to be finding our way through the German countryside. So yes, we have another adventure ahead of us next episode, hopefully with a few less things in the way, but Murphy's Law being what it is, who knows? All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. We really need to get these numbers on the channel up to 1,000 subscribers. That'd just be absolutely great. Whoa, look at little deer. I'd really like to see that. I'm going to get back to the farm, and I'll catch you guys next time, where we're going to finish the soybean harvest and hopefully not get lost driving through the German countryside. All right, guys, it's been a real pleasure. I'll catch you all next time.